Paper Flowers, and welcome to Halloween Spooktacular 2025. Hopefully you can hear me. It's my first time doing a live on YouTube, so I'm super excited and we're glad that you are here. So welcome in, everybody. So I just have to pull up my comments so I can see you. Hey there. Hi, Sharon. Welcome. I did it right. Pardon my hands. Welcome in, everybody. Hello. I'm so excited you're here with me. There we are. I think I have my right glasses on so I can see everybody. See all the comments. Hello. Audio's good. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, everyone. We will get started shortly. Why does it look blurry? Oh, maybe I was focusing on my hand. Hi, Grace. Hey, Christy. Welcome in. I needed a little support from my friend Forever Petals by Vee. So thank you, Vee, for your expertise. As always, you are a fabulous mentor and friend and collaborator. So I am just going to share this to my page real quick, and then we will go ahead and get started with the first mini flower tutorial for today out of our weekend. So just pardon my reach. We'll gather in here. And thank you so much for joining Forever Petals by Vee. So if you missed our first large paper flower tutorial, the video is saved on her YouTube page. And we also shared it to both of our Facebook business pages. So we truly do appreciate it. And we will get started in just a moment. So welcome in, everybody. So right now it's about 8:53 p.m. Eastern time. So I am Julie with PhotoFabPaperFlowers located here in Pennsylvania. So thank you for joining on this Friday night. It's a crispy fall night here in Pennsylvania and on the East Coast here, or the Mid-Atlantic and northern areas. So thank you. It's perfect weather for Halloween Spooktacular. All right. So thank you again for joining. We are going to start with template 7 mini flowers. So with the mini flower bundle and with the large paper flower bundle, which are available in our Etsy shops and in the description for this video, you do receive 2 brand new templates. Vee makes the larger version. I take that same petal and make mini flower version. So if you saw her flower, you're going to notice that petal shape right there. And that's what inspires me to design the rest of the templates. So with the mini flower bundles, you're going to receive 3 centers, 2 leaves, a sepal, and 3 petal designs. So we're going to be working with these tonight. And we're going to make 2 flowers. I did pre-ink just to save time, but I can show you super quick what I did on some additional ones I didn't completely ink. And with the purchase, you have a 16-page handout. So I tried to add a lot of details ahead of time. And for the first time, I did include for you your project files. So all you need to do is upload the SVG is a lot easier. So my files are meant to be cut with a cutting machine. And there's a master file, which you can just upload that project to your machine's design space, ungroup it, and then you can label them according to the images on the first page. Then the second file is our flower one, which we're going to make right now, and then we're going to make a quick second flower, okay? And then you can just label them, and I show you what my project looks like in my machine's design space. So be sure to read it thoroughly. I do take the time to type all of this out. It is my job during the day. I'm an instructional designer, which means I write job aids, policies, and procedures and communications all day long. So, and excuse me, here's our flower one. We're going to create the tools and supplies that are required to create it. I did also provide you a size chart in case you lose your project file. Okay. V, you were very busy today, so it is okay that you did not pre-ink. Believe me. And I was inking while you were on your tutorial. I was inking additional petals. So, and we're going to make a second flower real quick tonight. Again, the tools and supplies needed are all listed in your document when you purchase the template bundle. And again, this size chart is included. Okay. And then we have day 2 for tomorrow, but I also included, to get yourself a head start, is our project, where I already have one assembled. I can quickly show how I assembled a second one, but we're just going to show you how you can decorate it. The only item additional from the Halloween Spooktacular is I did create ivy vines, and that is a separate purchase. And all that is outlined here. And there are 2 YouTube videos included that you can just click on the links, or they're in the Halloween Spooktacular playlist here on my YouTube channel. Okay, so that's enough of that fun stuff, but I have it all written out for you to get yourself a head start on everything. So thank you for hanging out with us today. We are super excited, and I'm thrilled to be here for my first time on YouTube. Yes, my other videos are here, but to do a live is super fun. So I'm just going to take my coat off here. It is a little chilly, but again, all the sizes that we, to make flower number 1, are already included in your document, and if you just upload that project, it's all right there. You just need to ungroup it, cut it, and ink. Voila. And then you magically have flower number 1. So welcome in, everybody. Hey, Chrissy, super excited to have you here. Well, this font is super small on YouTube, though. That's my only thing. Thank you so much for joining Tanya and sharing the video. So be sure to like, follow, subscribe to both myself, Julie at PhotoFabPaperFlowers, and my friend Forever Petals by Vee, to join us for additional collaborations throughout the year, and our use of more live tutorials here on YouTube. So thank you again. I have my notes. And let me show you quickly how I inked. So my favorite inks to use are Distress Oxide. As most of you know, or if you're new here, I do a lot of inking. I tend to use a lot of the same colors. And though we're doing a Halloween Spooktacular bundle, of course these flowers do not have to be cut in colors for fall, or well, you can use it for fall, but for Halloween or any other theme, you can use it for autumn, or even a more in the craft color. I like to use 65-pound cardstock. And the colors that I am using are from Printworks DIY. And I can add a code to the description after we're done for you to get 15% off in their Amazon store. And I do have an Amazon storefront. So I use their autumn pack, and they do have a Halloween pack, which is super cute as well. So between these 2 packs, I'm getting through Halloween Spooktacular. And you can get a count of 200 sheets per pack of these. So besides the 65-pound cardstock, we like to use with our mini flowers, our flower shaping mat, which is a 1/4-inch soft foam mat. I did plug in my glue gun, yes. So I like to use the Surebonder mini glue gun for my mini flowers, which means all the petals are attached when you cut them. They're normally much smaller, and because of that, we sometimes need to get to the very center, and this glue gun, it just pops up the stand. It's perfect. 8-inch Gorilla Glue sticks are my best friend. We do need the bone folder, our slotted quilling tool. I am going to use a black Sharpie marker, our metal ball stylus tool, and what else did I forget? Our embossing stylus. This can be purchased at your local Dollar Tree. You can see which ones I use a lot more with my ink. So I like to preserve this one. It's super clean. And this I like to use when we're embossing our lines on our leaves or my petals. I use the thicker end. Okay. And then our color-coded dowel rod. So if you joined Forever Petals by Vee's large template tutorial, you'll see she used the 12-inch dowel rods, which are also color-coded. I am going to use the 6-inch for the mini flowers. So they are all hand color-coded, and you get a chart, which makes it easier. When we say 3/8, you can just look for the yellow. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So how did I ink these? You can already see. I like to put a piece of copy paper down on my work surface, even though it is a little dirty. We're not going to look at that. For the centers, you can just brush on some ink. So for orange, maybe we'll add a little purple. So my colors right now, this is my favorite purple. It's Seedless Preserves. I use it on all my leaves. I like to use Villainous Potion, and that's what I used on the red. So I didn't want black on my red, so I chose to use this dark purple. It's so cool on the red. So you'll see that. Ground Espresso is another one of my favorites. Crackling Campfire I was adding to my yellow centers, which you'll see on our second flower. And then my favorite black soot for Halloween flowers. So after applying it, it's going to turn like a darker gray. And it's very cool. So let's add a little bit of purple. So for the centers, all I did was I keep reusing my finger dabbers. And I did have gloves on for my original ones, but during Vee's tutorial, I did ink, so I have some brown on my fingers. You can just brush it on your center, and it doesn't need to be completely covered, but it's going to give it a little bit of color. Flip it over, and then you can brush on some additional ink. Okay. And the purple actually looks nice on the orange. So again, all my paper was from Printworks DIY. For the sepal, I used black soot. And all I did was go around the edges. So again, I'm just showing you real quick how I inked. I'm not going to go through it all. But once you do one, I go around. I start from the base and I go up to the top and across. And again, I keep using these till they're totally chewed up. Hey, Nathan, welcome in. Hi, Phyllis. Hey, friends. Hey, Beeples, J-Crew, Ghouls, Goblins. It's Halloween Spooktacular 2025. Thank you for joining. So I'm just going across starting at the base of the petal, up towards the top and across. And once I do that, and you can see I'm not careful. I want it to look distressed and Halloween-y, spooky. Once we do that all the way around, then I start at the base of the petal and come down the opposite side. And it makes it go super duper fast when you're inking. I can watch TV, watch a spooky movie, as we discussed during Vee's tutorial, and then flip it over and you would do exactly that exact same thing. And again, that's what I would do on all of my petals. I'll go down the right side, across the top. Then you want to make sure you get in there on the right side of each little petal. And you can see it's not very neatly done at all. Okay, and then I'll just come down the opposite side. And I'll just make my way around. Okay. And you can see what my finished ones look like. For these fringy petals, all I did was brush it on and went a little bit heavier at the tips. Just lay it down on your extra work surface. Okay, and you'll do that to all the petals front and back. This one, flower one, does take a little bit of time, but I promise you it's well worth it. Does anybody have any questions regarding the inking process? And maybe you don't want to ink and that's okay. Or maybe you like to ink just in the center and blend it out. That's completely okay. It's going to be totally up to you what look you're going for. And again, like I mentioned, you don't have to use Halloween colors. I was using a craft paper color with some brown ground espresso and a little bit of seedless preserve on the tip. Okay. And I do have some flowers made in those colors to show you the versatility of the templates. Hi, friends. Welcome in. We're going to go ahead and get started. Sorry, you can see my plug here. We need that. We need the power. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So for our sepal, normally I use 2, but I'm just using 1 today. We're going to place it down on our flower shaping mat. We're going to take our embossing stylus and we're going to add some veining. So when I say veining, I mean like the veining in a leaf. So you're going to simply come down the center like you're drawing it. And then in a V shape, you're going to come towards the center. And then you come down at an angle down the opposite side. So if you flip it over, it's going to have some texture. So you're just going to come down the center, and then I start at an angle, go up, and then I come down the opposite side. So that's what I mean by veining. How's that for your teacher? All right, so again, we're going to do that exact same thing. We're using the larger end of the embossing stylus, straight line down the center, and then we're just going to come in towards the center and then come down the opposite side. So you can see it starts to curl your petal a little bit. Okay, straight line down the center. I'm going to try and move my phone a little bit, so hopefully I don't do anything too crazy. Okay, straight line, come in at an angle. You can come down that little bit of a lip or his hand. It looks like a ghost coming at you. Straight line and then come down. So you're creating a V shape towards the center. Come down the opposite side. So it's giving your flower some texture. We don't want it flat, our leaves. Okay, again, center line, draw at a V shape. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're hoping you love Halloween Spooktacular 2025. We're kicking it off tonight on this crisp fall night here in PA. And in Texas, it's probably a nice warm evening. So again, it's just giving it a little bit of texture. You can always go over it with your metal ball stylus. So they come in a set of 4. The smallest one, you can literally just draw your line and go over them, but it's really not necessary. It has enough texture. It's going to be on the underside of your flower. Since I did one, I have to finish it. My crazy makes me do that. Okay, so then you can just set your sepal to the side. For our rolled centers, or our center number 3, we cut 2 of them, and they are 5.45 inches wide. So you can just stack them. We're going to take our bone folder. So you can see I keep using it. It has ink on it. It can be washed. You hold it along the straight edge, and you're just going to pull and curl it like you're curling ribbon. It will get on your fingers, the ink, so don't stress out. You can use rubbing alcohol, or Dawn dish detergent gets it off, a lot of it. Oh, Jeanette, thanks so much for joining. Nathan had some internet issues. I had some all day today. I'm going on, especially during the workday with my work laptop. Peel them apart, and now we're going to use our slotted quilling tool. Okay, so I do offer paper flower tool sets. If you are new to paper flowers or you want to refresh in them, you can just buy certain tools separately, or you can check, I offer different bundles for you. So we're going to thread one end of our center into the slotted quilling tool. Okay, so now you can see I added it to the first little petal here. We're going to roll it towards myself, and I pressed into my finger. I'm not sure why. And then I like to press around it. We're going to roll it just a few times towards you. Hold it, and you're going to add some glue because we want to keep it secure. And then you're going to roll it towards you, keeping that bottom right edge aligned. We're going to secure the end with hot glue. Okay, so now you can see our color. So with this red paper, again from the Autumn paper pack, I used just plain old red from Printworks DIY. Now we can add some additional colors. So I'm going to add just a little bit of black in here to give it a little bit more spookier. Just brush it on the tips. Again, play around with your colors. Or if you don't want to ink perfectly, okay, you can just do a different color center. And in my original flower, I did do a 2-tone flower. So just brush on a little bit of black. And now we're going to attach a second one. I'm leaving it on my slotted quilling tool. The curve of the center should be facing towards you. Add a little bit of glue. I'm going to go to where my last one ended. Now I didn't secure that straight. I overlap slightly, probably because I do not ever glue the ends on straight for some reason. Roll it towards you, keeping that bottom right edge aligned. We're going to secure the end with hot glue. Okay. And there we have it. So our center is a little bit darker with the black. We have the villainous potion because it is Halloween. We need a villain. And then it has a little bit of variation. So I just love the inking to give it some color variation. Now, before you remove it from the slotted quilling tool, you can simply press down with your thumb a few times, beep, to give it the shape of a light bulb, as I like to say. We're going to set that off to the side. All right, so starting with our largest petals, which are 3.75 inches wide, this is our center number 2. We're using this petal twice. And she is super fun. It reminds me of a lobster claws for some reason. Doesn't it? We're going to take our red 5/16 inch dowel rod. So this is where your color-coded dowel rod chart comes in handy if you don't remember the colors. Or I just say red, you know where to go, 5/16. I keep them stacked. It's up to you. If you're newer to paper flowers, you may want to only roll one petal at a time. Okay, so we're going to take just this petal right here, place the red dowel rod down, and you're going to pinch up with your thumb on the right side, let go, and roll it between your fingers. I'm right-handed, so that's why I say on the right. So now it just took the shape of your dowel rod. This is going to be our bottom layers or our outer layers of our flower, the largest one. So we don't need it to be super duper curled. Place it down the middle of the petal, pinch it up with your thumb, let go, and roll it between your fingers. Get comfortable with the technique. Once you're comfortable with rolling petals, we call it the pinch and roll technique. You'll be able to watch TV. I can watch TV and not even look down. That comes with time. So don't worry. But there you go. Now for these little fringe pieces, I am going to separate them. You can take one of the larger diameter metal ball stylus tools and you can just literally start at the top, oops, and roll down. You just want to curl them. This one might be too big to give them some shape. I got glue strings everywhere, friends. So is there anybody who has a work decorating contest for like an autumn theme or Halloween? I'm doing Halloween for our work. And then go right around where the petals meet the base. So it becomes a super duper fun shape. Again, we're going to set this one off to the side. We're going to do that exact same technique, taking one of the larger metal ball stylus, start at the top of the petal and just roll it down towards the center. You want to do it on the spongy surface, the 1/4 inch mat. We call it our flower shaping mat. Roll it from the top. So thank you all for joining here on YouTube. So we will be eventually, most likely, most of the tutorials will start to take place. We'll shift over here just because, as most of you know, Facebook only keeps our live tutorials for 30 days and we have to do extra steps to get them uploaded here. For myself, I do work full time and it is a lot of extra work, but we thank you for hanging out with us here. So thank you all for joining. Again, liking, sharing, commenting. We truly do appreciate it. So now petal number 3. You'll notice this shape. Our friend Forever Petals by Vee used that individual petal to make a beautiful flower. And what size was she, Vee? But I don't remember if you said or I missed it. We're going to take, we have 3 of these at 3.5 inches. So for 2 of them, we're going to take our red 5/16. So again, our red dowel rod, color coded. We're going to place that dowel rod down in the middle of the petal, pinch it up with your thumb, let go, and roll it between your fingers. Now you can see my finger turns red. I am pressing hard because I want that petal to have the shape of my dowel rod to go around it. 15 inches. Thank you so much, Grace. Pinch up and roll. Okay, so for 2 of the out of the 3, petal 3, pinch up and roll. You're going to roll all the petals up. So how do we get the different shapes and looks for our petals? It's going to be the way we style them. There's different ways. So for mini flowers, most of the time we roll the entire petal. So in this case, we rolled them all up. Okay. For the third petal of petal 3 at 3.5 inches, we're still going to use our red 5/16 dowel rod. We're going to do the technique of one petal up and one petal down. So if you see anything written like that, this is my wording for or technique for rolling one petal up and one petal down. Choose any petal to start, pinch it up with your thumb so you can see it's wrapped around the dowel rod. Once I have a hold of it, I just roll it between my fingers. Skip a petal, pinch up and roll. Skip, pinch up, let go, and roll it between your fingers. Okay? Now we're just going to completely turn it upside down so the petals we just rolled show under. And now we're going to go through and roll these petals up. Why? Because it's easier to roll petals up. So now we have one up, one down, pinch up, Julie, and roll it between your fingers. Okay, I just flipped it all the way over. So now you can see under, up, under, up. So one up, one down. Those are our first three, well, petal number 3. Now we're at center 1. We have 2 of them at 3.25 inches. We're going to switch our dowel rod. Why? Because as our petals get smaller, we need to have more curl. So if I roll it with a larger one, it's not going to have that much curl. So we're going to go into our dowel rod bag, pull out our olive green 1/4 inch dowel rod. So we do have 2 of these. I'm going to stack them. I'm going to try and get them lined up perfectly. There we go, Julie. Place it down in the middle of the petal. Okay, so you can see I have a nice little gap. Pinch it up with your thumb. It does look like a pitchfork. I was thinking in the Halloween spirit, like a devil's fork. Pinch it up and roll. We got some fun shapes here. As I always say, the craziest petal shapes make the most gorgeous flowers, or spooktacular, for our Halloween Spooktacular 2025. We have a fun weekend ahead of us, so be sure to subscribe and follow us along as we make additional flowers tomorrow. I will be kicking it off here at PhotoFabPaperFlowers. And then immediately following a small intermission, we'll have Forever Petals by Vee make her flowers. And then we'll come back together Sunday morning where Vee will show you how to assemble a Halloween flower set with her large paper flowers. And I will show you my skull project and we'll decorate it with the flowers we made. All right, so there are those. So I'm just going to continue to stack these from largest to smallest. It makes assembling everything super duper easy. Next up is petal number 2. So again, we're still playing with that petal shape, but we added in some extra details. We're going to continue to use our 1/4 inch green dowel rod. So you can see where I added the black tips and then I just brushed some ink over it. So I just used my Sharpie for each of these little tips. So our 1/4 inch green dowel rod, we're going to use on these larger petals. Place it down the middle of the petal, pinch it up and roll. Pinch it up and roll. Okay, now we're going to separate these 2 petals. The maximum number of petals I roll in a mini flower, and having experience, is normally 3. Just because with a lot of these, it's a lot of detail. If it was a little bit simpler, I normally cap it off at 3. I've done 4, but don't stress yourself out, especially if you're learning. So for these little I don't even know what to call them, little strands here. We're going to use our metal ball stylus again, and we're going to just roll from the top to pull them up. We just want to lift them up. So when you roll, it does that magically. They're flat. We roll it towards the center, and there they are, lifted right up. And we're going to put them onto our pile, and we're going to repeat that process for the second petal. La la. Ooh, it looks so pretty here with the red and the purple. Oh, thank you so much, Chrissy. She watched the skull video. Yes, thank you. I had fun with it. All right, now we are at center number 2. I'm trying to follow my directions that I wrote down. All right, so we have 2 of these. We're back to that lobster claw. So remember, we did those in the very beginning. We had 2 large. I said we were going to use it again. So we're going to stack them. And because these are much smaller than our ones at 3.75, these are 2.75. So now we're going to use our blue. We're going even smaller diameter dowel rod. Coastal blue, I like to say, 3/16. Place it down the middle of the petal. Pinch it up with your thumb. Let go and roll it. Again, I'm pressing hard. My finger turns a little red. Oh, what is our... Yeah, so on Vee's Live, we talked about our favorite Halloween movie. So what is our least favorite Halloween movie? Oh, I'm trying to think. I love Halloween. It's hard. I don't like super gory movies. Though I love the character from watching him roam around Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, Hollywood, or Orlando, are the clown. But the Terrifier movies, I would say, I can't do. It's too much gore, where I like a thrill like Friday the 13th. I want a little bit of suspense, not just total out blood and guts. How's that for an explanation? And I do have my Halloween Horror Nights t-shirt on from this year. So for these little pieces here, we're going to use our metal ball stylus again, and we're going to just roll to lift them up. These are like fan hair pieces. I don't know. Little fans. Oh my God. There we go. It turns it into a triangle almost. We're going to set those apart as well. So we're just going to set them separately over here. Oh, yeah, clowns. Yeah, the It clowns, definitely. Did Welcome to Derry premiere yet? Yeah, Terrifier, oof. But Art the Clown walking around Halloween, I love watching his videos. He's super fun there. And his haunted house was very well put together, a little bit gory. I couldn't imagine walking. I went through the Daylights tour of 6 houses on my vacation. I did not walk through them at night. I love haunts. However, I was there solo, and to walk through solo is very hard for me. I have to ask the person in front of me if I can hold on to their shirt. And some people don't like that, so that's my story. All right, so we're going to assemble. We have everything styled over here on the left, as you can see. I'm going to flip my stack of petals over. And we're going to start with petal 3. So we have 3 petals of petal 3. at 3.5 inches. Layer 1, we're going to take 2 of them that we rolled up, and you're going to flip it over. So now the petals are rolled under. Layer 2, they're going to be facing up. Layer 3 is the petal we rolled one up, one down, okay? So though we rolled both of these petals up, the first one we flipped over, so they're going to be shaped under. Because you can see it's not laying flat in the center, I need that to be flat. We're going to take one of the larger metal ball stylus, roll it in the center, all 3 of them. Normally we don't do layer 1, but because it was rolled under, we need it to be flat on the surface. Okay, layer 2, flip it over, we add our glue. Just right here in the center. Okay. So I'm going to look at this X, and I'm going to keep my eye on this empty spot and bring that petal down. These are exactly the same size, so it makes it easy. It's going to create the circular shape of our flower, and press. So layer 2 petals right here go in between 1. So this shape should look very familiar from Forever Petals by Vee's large paper flower that she just made on her YouTube page. Okay, we're going to rotate it just like we do our large paper flowers. So now layer 2, I'm going to look for that X, and I always look at the top 2. This is the petal we rolled one up, one under. Okay. Again, looking at my top 2 petals, keep an eye on one of them. It doesn't really matter which one. I'm going to bring it straight down. They're all 3 of the same size, so it's going to fill right in perfectly. I press with my finger in the center to make sure it's flat. Bobby Joe. Yeah, it's pretty scary. When you lived in a haunted house you don't want to watch. Oh, yeah, I agree. I've had some experiences myself. All right, so we have our first 3 layers, which is petal 3. Now we go to center number 1, which is going to be our layer 4 and 5. We rolled them up with our olive green dowel rod, so we're just going to separate the 2 of them. We're going to take a metal ball stylus. Doesn't have to be super large, but the smallest. Roll it right in the center to lift our petals up, so it magically lifts them up. Take either one, it doesn't matter. Add some glue in the center. Look at your top 2 petals, look at a petal, and bring it straight down in between. Now our petal size change, so I do like to stand when I assemble my mini flowers and directly over. Nathan, I would love to go to a haunted house with you. Come on up to PA. Look at your top 2 petals, look at a petal, and bring it straight down. Okay? Press it in with your thumb. Okay, so if you're new here, and a little bit about me, I love full flowers. I live in a humid area. It gets very humid in the summer. It's not a dry heat here in PA. And to keep my flowers from opening up, I do lots of layers. So when you think you can't add another layer, you can. Believe me. Now we're going to take petal number 2, layers 5 and 6. So we're going to assemble layers 1 through 6. And then we'll work on our center and then add our last pieces. Okay, so I rolled it in the center with my metal ball stylus. Add some glue. And I'm going to look at the top 2 petals. I'm going to be shifting it around to see if I got off center or not. But we're always going to look at the last 2 petals, look at a petal, and bring it straight down. Now you can use your metal ball stylus and press and stir. We switched our petal design, so you're going to think it looks odd because it's only 4 petals. But here's my last 2 petals. So these are going to go in there. Okay. So bring it straight down. And this flower and petals were designed when I was in Florida. Getting inspired and relaxing and recharging. But it's so pretty with the purple. All right. So now we have center number, what is this? Oh, 2. Did I say the wrong one? Oh, we did petal 2. This is center 2. Oh my gosh. So we're going to take our rolled center. We're going to roll in the center here. Why do I feel out of sorts today? We're going to add glue to the bottom and around the edge. We're going to place it right in the center. So you can see it fits perfectly on there. And I am going to fold my petals up, placing it one in front of the other a little bit, trying to get these little fringy ones in there. And then you're just going to press at the bottom. It's going to look like that. Add some glue. Okay, so where I have this large petal, it's going to go in between these 2 petals. And then I'm literally just going to fold them up. You want it to look crazy. Okay, add some glue. I'm going right around the edge here. Chrissy, we can't have you having panic attacks in the haunted house. But they can be super scary, believe me. Look at the 2 petals. And we're going to look at one of our petals here and just bring it straight down in between and press. Like I said, if you thought you couldn't get any more in there, we did. We still have petals, so she's super flat. I love looking at them from the side because you think if you're stemming it, it's going to be on the side. Maybe you're using it in a bouquet. We still have our original center 2, the 2 large ones, and our sepal. Oh, did I add one in I wasn't supposed to? Oh, no, I was fine. I'm thinking my other flower. I'm getting confused all on my own. All right, we're going to assemble these with the petals under. So what does that mean? It's going to look like this. Now, I'm trying to think if I want a stem. I'm going to stem this one for you because with our skull project, we are using some styrofoam, and you will be able to press the flowers into some of these, and I think it'll be easier. So if you were not stemming it, you would glue this directly on here, placing them in between, all of them under, just like we normally do. So I will show you how we're going to stem it. So if you're stemming, you do need the piercing scoring tool. It comes from Dollar Tree in a set of 2. This is the wider one. You'll see this one I use to get my glue out, so you can see it's bent. So we just poke a hole right in the center with the petals rolled under. You always poke in the direction or pierce the hole in the way you're going to stem with the 18 gauge floral stem wire. Okay. We're going to take our wire cutters. I'm just going to cut it in half. I don't need a super duper large piece of wire. We're going to take our needle nose pliers, place it, the 18 gauge floral stem wire in between. Holding it vertical, you're going to bend it around to a hook. Okay. Place it back in the needle nose pliers, squeeze it shut. Oop. My eye's twitching. Straighten it out. And now you're going to place it back in the needle nose pliers, keeping it vertical, bend it 90 degrees like a corner. And voila. We're going to take one of our first lobster claws here with the petals rolled under, thread it onto the 18 gauge floral stem wire. On the underside of that wire loop, you add a dab of glue. Okay, pull it through till it grabs onto the paper. Oh my God, you're all so funny. Welcome in. Thank you for joining tonight for day 1 of Halloween Spooktacular. This is our second tutorial and this is our mini flower. We are going to make a smaller flower after this, so we appreciate you hanging out with us on your Friday evening or whether you're watching in replay. Thank you for stopping by. And be sure to follow us along for all of Halloween Spooktacular and a whole bunch more throughout the year. My friend Forever Petals by Vee and I like to collaborate for some special events throughout the year to show you how you can make some large paper flowers and mini flowers and how we bring it all together. We love our partnerships and she is a great friend and I miss her greatly. So now that we know it's dry, I'm going to add glue all in the center and over top of that piece of wire. With our flower flipped over, I'm going to look at one of my lobster claws and bring it straight down in between. So this one went in between these two from our layer 1. Now I'm going to press right in the center where we added our glue. So now look at the shape that she's getting. So pretty. This is what makes my heart super happy, my creative side. Once we know that's dry, I try not to move it, but I get excited. Thread on your second one with the petals again rolled under. This is where our stand comes in handy to flip it up. Ooh, got stuck on my finger. Add some glue. You can hold your glue gun and twirl your flower. Now we're going to bring one of our lobster claws down, and I'm going to place it in between the previous layers lobster claws and press. Ooh, she's super fun. Okay. And lastly is our sepal. We can, with the petals rolled up, you can just roll right around where the petals meet the base to give them some shape. We didn't roll them with a dowel rod. We kept them just from our veining. It has enough texture. It's hard to see there. Place it, thread it through with the petals rolled under. Hold your glue gun and twirl. And now we're just going to thread our sepal petals on and press. And there you have it. Now you can add some black floral tape if you wanted to. But I'm not going to waste that since we probably won't. But oh, she's so pretty. Now, if you were not stemming it, you can see what she looks like now. She did travel home from Florida in a container, so she kept her shape pretty good. So it will flatten out more if you're not stemming. And you can see I used yellow in the center and orange. So depending, for Halloween tend to use the warmer colors, as most of you may know me, I tend to go towards the warm colors. So the pinks, the oranges, the yellows. But if you added some blue, would be super duper beautiful, or even all in black. Depends. And again, you can do it all monotone or solid, one color, or you can do two-tone. Either or is perfect. And again, you achieve the same look. It's just going to flatten out more if you don't stem it. Okay. There are leaves that come with our mini flower bundle. So if you do purchase both of them, there is individual ones. So you can scale them larger if you wanted to cut them with Vee's and put them with Vee's Halloween set, or even the assembled one. So again, these are super cute. I added some veining and some ink, and it'll look great with your flowers. So depending on what you're going for, or you can add these to your stem. Super duper fun. I love this design. All right. Flower number 2. I am using some yellow and the orange and the green. Now the green is from another Printworks paper pack. But again, I'm sorry. I'm using the autumn cardstock, and this was the orange and the goldenrod. The goldenrod is a little bit thinner, so just be careful with your cutting. I've used light cardstock for all of the settings. And again, I will add to the description of the video once we're done the code to get 15% off eligible products in the Printworks Amazon storefront. All right, so again, with Halloween Spooktacular, I gave you the projects already set up, and again, it's all outlined in your handout. So if you then go to what page? So that was flower 1. You add the file name flower number 2 to your machine. You can label it as I have there. You can see exactly, I have everything sized for you. Makes it super duper easy. I walk you through it, and then you will see what flower 2 looks like right here. Here's all your tools and supplies, and then I have a size chart at the bottom. So we have the same size center that we used in flower number 1, except for we're having 3 centers. Okay, so I'm not going over any sizes because I already gave you them the project already set up, which is super cool of me. I'm glad I had time to do that for you. So inking for this flower was basically the same. You can see I have a bunch of them cut. Hopefully I get some made. And with the orange and the yellow, I use crackling campfire on my yellow. So think of like a marigold. I was using that color. So crackling campfire is perfect for your marigolds. Again, you're just going to brush some ink on your first layer. I like to do multiple layers with these rolled centers. So do a base coat, not real heavy, but enough to give it some color. But the yellow you still want to see as well. So again, I keep using these finger dabbers. So then it almost looks like fire. All right. And then for the orange, I did use black soot. Okay. And then for the tips, I used a Sharpie. So let's do one of those. So I'm just showing you, I have them all inked. I won't have you watch me ink since I had 2 flowers. So I'm just adding a little bit of a black Sharpie. Now you can use any color you want for the tips. So if you didn't grab our template bundles, they are still available. They are linked here in the description, in Forever Petals by Vee's description of her tutorial. We will have playlists for you to find everything super easy here on YouTube. We hope you like this format, and we do appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us and comment, and so we can inspire you, and we get inspired from each other as well. And we're super glad to have Forever Petals by Vee back with us. As I said in her video, it makes me so happy to see her creating again. And thank you for joining me again for our 4th year of Halloween Spooktacular. So a little bit of black soot. You can start at the base, you go up the side, and then go across the top. Okay? You'll go all the way around. So starting in the center, up towards the top, and then I go across the top. Okay? Then we're going to start from the center and come again towards the top, but we're coming down the opposite side. That way, this is the quickest way to ink. Now you just did all 4 petals. Again, we added some ink, so you just brush on those little tentacle pieces. I go down the entire petal. I just brush a little bit on. You can keep it heavier at the top if you want. It's completely up to you. Flip it over and you do that exact same thing. So inking, not hard. This one goes super fast. So I did a bunch of different color combinations, and I'll show you the neutral one I did make as well. Okay, any questions? All right, so for our center 3, or I don't know, which one is this? Center 3. We have 3 of them this time, where in flower 1 we only did 2. So I'm going to flip them over, keeping that straight edge on the left side to hold it because I'm right-handed. Take your bone folder and curl your center again. So for most rolled centers, we use our bone folder to curl. Now you can curl it different directions, and that will change the look of your center. So we're just curling it like we curl ribbon or your lashes. All right, now again, we're just going to use our slotted quilling tool to shape our center. So we're going to separate all 3. Pull in our slotted quilling tool. Linda, how are you? Fatal Attraction. I'm not being a good student and paying attention. Tina, let's get it together, my friend. All right, we're going to thread one end into the slotted quilling tool. Thanks for joining, Chrissy. Okay, you're going to roll it towards you a few times. So thank you all for hanging out. It is a late night here on the East Coast, so thank you for staying up on your Friday evening. Roll it towards you. Okay, we're going to secure it with hot glue. I got a little wonky. There we go, Julie. Now, we added some crackling campfire, so what color should we add? I'm going to add a little bit of black, like it's like a your campfire almost. So we're just going to brush some on the tips. I could play around with centers all day long. We're going to attach our second one. Now you can see this one didn't cut perfectly. I can snip that out. I don't know what I did. There we go. I could have left it in too because I purposely put this one in the center. Add some glue to make at least one rotation around. And we're going to start it, but I'm overlapping where the last one ended. You're going to roll it towards you, trying to keep that bottom right edge aligned the best you can. Sometimes I do better than other times. Secure the end with hot glue. And again, do you want to add some black? Let's add a little bit more black. Linda, I know you crafted so much. Did you burn yourself out? Or are you just enjoying life, which is okay? Okay, add enough glue to make one rotation around. So thank you for being patient with me, as it is my first time on YouTube live. And a little bit of a hiccup for me to get started, but now we're good. So the mini flower templates are all machine cut. However, Forever Puddles by Vee, her large paper flower bundle for Halloween Spooktacular can be hand cut. And there you have your center. So do we want a little bit more black? I'm going to add a little bit more black. Trying to think of what kind of look I want to go for. So I have a question. So does crafting wake you up? What happens is I'm hyped up and my creativity goes that I have a hard time falling asleep after a live tutorial. I'm going to add a little bit of purple seedless preserves. See what that does. And maybe we'll add some more orange in there. I like to play around to give it a little bit of variation in the center. So I'm going to pull in the darker purple. Perfect. Now you can do the thumb push before you take it off, or finger push. Remove it, and now it has a nice bulb, light bulb shape. Just like we did the first time. All right, so petal number, or let's start with our sepals. We'll flip it over. Excuse me. We're going to take our embossing stylus. We're going to take the larger end. So just like we did before, do a straight line down the center. We're going to add the veining. Do your V shape towards that center. And you can just pull down those little tentacle pieces like it's hugging you. Straight down the center. Do your lines towards the center, and you come down the opposite side. Okay. So once you do one, you can do it rather fast. It's the same technique for this one. So this flower will have a different look completely from our first flower. Similar but different. I'm sorry, I'm getting a tickle in my throat. I've had a cough since September 1st, which is crazy. I do feel better, but it still gets him irritated at the end of the day and at the beginning. Okay. This one does hurt your hands. I do recommend you stretch. Now, also for these, I'm going to brush a little bit more black soot on my petals. And I'm not really adding any ink, but I want to highlight the veining, make it dirty. So flip it over and then just brush over it. This is a little extra detail. I normally will do this with brown ink. Instead, I'm using black for Halloween. So we just want to highlight our veining that we did. It should go into those crevices of the veins. And I do it on both sides after we did that. And then I like to add a little bit of seedless preserves as well. Randomly. Not a lot. Try not. Well, I might do more in the center. I love purple on my leaves. Maybe you want some more at the tips than anywhere else. So add that little bit of extra. Maybe just some of them you do more at the tip. So you play around with how you like it. Oh, Linda, I love that. Yes, Bigfoot. Wonder if he'll be seen around. He was at Flower Camp. Will he show up at Halloween Spooktacular? Who knows? So we are using petal number 1, which we didn't use on flower 1. So it only has 4 petals. So for this, we're going to, again, take our embossing stylus. And this is basically our styling for this flower. Down the center. So you're going to do your veining down the center. And then you add your lines towards that center point at an angle. So I start here, then I bring those towards me and down each side. We're going to do this to all the petals. So you can start to go fast. You can see me color back and forth. Again, it's giving it texture and shape to our petal. It's giving that veining, which is probably hard to see on video. But you can see it lifted my petals up. Sorry, I have to take a swig of water. Probably happened at the same time for Vee. We're hoping you're enjoying Flower Camp. Halloween Spooktacular 2025 so far. All right, straight line down the center. And then add your veining down either side. So again, you can see, I don't think about it. I just go fast. That's right, Linda. It's Bigfoot. Or it's the Yeti when you go on Everest. Or Sasquatch. I should have asked my brother. He's on his way home from Seattle on the train. Maybe Bigfoot is with him. My brother and my dad did a train adventure to Seattle. They left yesterday and they arrived home on Sunday. It took them longer to get there and come home than they were in Seattle. All right, this is now center number 2. We added the black marker on the tips. We inked around all the edges, and then I just brushed on the ink down each of these little petals. We're going to add our veining again down the center, and then do your lines towards the center. Excuse me. If I didn't say anything clearer, please let me know. And we have 3 of those, and we're gonna do exactly the same thing. You can see there's a little stubby one, it ripped off. So continue to use those petals. Don't throw it out. You know, a flower is not perfect, so don't stress. Plus, it's Halloween Spectacular. It looks like we did it on purpose. Maybe, you know, the spider ate part of the flower or the skeleton. Okay, so we're just embossing our petals. Super easy, no dowel rod, just embossing. So I will stem this one as well. I did not stem my previous one, so you can see. The only reason I didn't is because of traveling when I designed them. So we're gonna get our piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire. We're gonna take I cut it in half. Take your needle nose pliers, place it in between there, bend it around to create a hook. Place it back in the needle nose pliers and squeeze it shut, straighten it out. Place it back in the needle nose pliers, keep it vertical, bend it 90 degrees like a corner. Voila. All right, so we have our 3 center 2s. So with these little tentacles, you're going to use your bone folder. And we're going to curl them. Okay. Now, after I assemble it, I do recurl some of these. But for right now, we're just going to curl them up, just like our petals showing. So if my petal's going facing up, I'm grabbing it and just curling it up. Okay. So we have 3 of those. We're going to take our 4 petal ones. We're going to roll the center with our metal ball stylus a little bit larger. Okay. We're going to add glue. Now you do want to be careful. I'm going to add a little bit around the edges, but you can see our petal only has 4, so just be careful. Place it directly in the center. This is where we talk about hot glue burns. Place it one petal in front of the other. And then press it at the bottom, and then press the sides. Okay. We're going to add some glue to the bottom and then going a little bit around the sides, just a little bit. All right, now I like to add them from the back because I can see in between the 2 petals. So place that petal directly in the center. You can see. And we're going to fold up and around. And press it at the bottom. Okay. Do the exact same technique, add some glue. We're looking at our top 2 petals. We just bring this one right in between. All 4 of these are exactly the same size. Fold it up and around. And I press down to shape it a little. Just watch, it will move like mine did. Place this petal in between these 2, your previous layers. Okay. So if you just needed a quick little bud, here you go. You can, pop on a smaller sepal around it. and you can tuck it in between. So that's a good idea, Julie. This is where other ideas come out of me. All right, so now we are going to add our last 3 petals, and then we have our sepal. All right, one of them we're going to assemble up. So I'm going to do this one. So with this one assembled up, I'm going to pierce a hole in the center. The other 2 are going to be assembled under. So you're going to flip them over, pierce your hole. Always pierce the hole the way you're assembling it onto the floral stem wire. Okay, we're going to start here. You can roll the center to lift those petals up. Thread your 18 gauge floral stem wire through, ouch, poke yourself, be careful. On the underside of that wire loop, add some hot glue, thread it through, and you want it to grab onto your petal. And we're going to give it a moment to dry. 7 gators? Oh my gosh, Linda. A Sasquatch may or Bigfoot may be at your house for some dinner tonight. All right, we're going to now add glue here and insert it into our center of our flower. So we're going to add some glue. I'm going to go around and around. I added a generous amount so it attaches. We're going to look at one of our petals and place it in between, so where those tentacles are. And we're going to press to make sure it attaches. And I'm going to give it a moment to dry. Oops. Oh my God, I almost dropped it. Okay, so now this is where I'm going to, before we add our other ones, we're going to take our bone folder and we're going to take these 2 little pieces and we're going to curl them under. I thought it was easier just to do it this way. Okay, so it doesn't look like anything now. We're going to flip these over so the petals are showing up. You're going to roll the center. And remember, we're going to assemble them under. So now we thread it on. Okay, you add glue. So we want to make sure our stand is folded up. I did have to put a new glue gun in. So I'm holding my glue gun and I twirled. Okay, we're going to place the wider petals where these little tentacle pieces are. So thread it straight down and press. Oh, it's just so pretty. Thread on your next one. Hold your glue gun and twirl, friends. Goblins, ghouls, ghosts, Bigfoot. Okay, look at your top 2 petals. The wider ones, we're going to bring this one straight down in between and press. And then we can open these up a little. Play around with the look that you want. I want those more curled. I love looking at flowers from the side. That's my favorite thing to do. All right, we have our last 2, which are our sepals. Roll the center. where the petals meet the base. Well, we actually shouldn't have done that first. You're gonna pierce your hole in it. It's getting late, friends. Now I'm gonna get the giggles and giddy. I'm gonna re-roll that because we had a poke. You always poke the hole in the way you're assembling them. All right, so with the petals rolled under, thread it onto your 18 gauge floral stem wire. Hold your glue gun and twirl. Okay, I'm gonna place one of these petals right where those tentacles are and press. And you can shape it, reshape it. I recurl some of these. And then I did add 2. Hold your glue gun and twirl. Place the petals in between the previous layer. And then you can recurl any of them that you want to give them more curl. I'm doing some of the other layers. Maybe you don't want as many sepals, but she is so beautiful. And I did it in the natural craft color. So if you didn't want to do spooky, you don't have to. And you can see what it looks like if it's not stemmed. And I also did red. Okay, so depending on your look, you can stem them or not stem them. So it's so pretty. And that is our Template 7 mini flower from Halloween Spooktacular. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Show you the bent one or stemmed ones. And again, you can use natural colors, so it doesn't have to be Halloween-y or not. And then you can cut some leaves for your project, and these leaves can be used with our skull project that we are making or putting together on Sunday. So you can prepare ahead of time and have your candlestick made ahead of time, because I'm just going to be decorating mine. So thank you all for joining. Again, this is my first live YouTube video, so thank you for your patience. I have to get used to reading it. I really need magnifying glasses. But thank you so much for joining. We hope you enjoyed today's tutorials from Forever Petals by Vee. Was live earlier today to make a large paper flower, and then I kicked it off here with our mini flower. We are back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern on my channel here for the first tutorial. We're going to be making working with template 8 mini flower to make 2 more flowers. Okay, and then Vee will follow after probably like a 5-10 minute break intermission, and then she will make a large paper flower or 2, I'm not sure. So we so appreciate it for joining our exclusive events when we collaborate together, and we will join you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening and a great start to your weekend. We love hanging out with you, and we will see you all tomorrow, my spooky friends. Thank you so much. Bye.